What is going on, fam? It's Jada Black here, of course. Another video. Salute to everybody that's tuning in. People have been sending me this particular topic, and they've been wanting me to speak on it. It has to do with Jada Pinkett Smith, awkwardly admitting, according to the blast, of a porn addiction in front of her mom and daughter, Willow. Okay, let's get into it. It says Jada Pinkett Smith is revealing she used to be hooked on porn in the newest episode of Red Table Talk. The star gets unbelievably candid during opening up about what she calls an addiction in front of her mom and her 18-year-old daughter, Willow. Wow, Willow's 18 now. Anyway, while the cameras are rolling, Jada begins throwing out stats regarding how many people watch porn on a regular basis. Then she drops the bombshell. Back in the day, I had a little porn addiction, but I wasn't in a relationship when I had a porn addiction, Will Smith's wife reveals. And she doesn't stop there. Jada talks about Willow's first exposure to porn at just 11 years old. Really? Listen, man, I know that Will and Jada run their household a little differently than other people, so maybe that's it. You're gonna probably hear stuff like this. Let's just say the whole conversation is completely awkward and leaves grandma squirming in her chair. Of course it would, looking at the situation. Now from the clip that I saw, I guess they were sort of, I don't know if it was behind the scenes, Red Table Talk. Jada was still in her bathrobe. Her mother was getting makeup on. Willow was getting makeup on. And the conversation comes up. She's putting the stats out there. And they're talking about it. And she talks about her, her having her addiction to it. But then she goes to Willow. And she's went on Willow's Tumblr. And she saw this X-rated stuff pop up. And she was saying it, and Willow was trying to say, well, it wasn't X-rated, but Jada was like, for her age, it is, and actually it is, but it just shows y'all where we are in society. You have young kids who ain't even, 10 or 11 themselves that have cell phones, smartphones. They know how to use them. They know how to get in and out of the apps. Some of these young kids are getting Facebook accounts and Instagram accounts. Okay, and they're not being supervised by their mothers or fathers, and Willow growing up in that household when they probably had a lot of freedom to do whatever they want to do, they're gonna mosey around. They're gonna go and they basically are going to find those things. Not to say they're going looking for them, but the fact that she's on Tumblr and she's following certain sites. I mean, even though they advertise, but anyway, I want to get to Jada's mother. Jada's mother, she exited the conversation when Jada and Willow was talking back and forth about it. Her mother exited out the conversation. By the way, her and Jada look like sisters. I mean, they really do. But no, and she kind of exited the conversation like she didn't want to be in it, like she didn't understand it, and I thought that was a little interesting because again, maybe that's not how Jada was raised. You know what I'm saying? Jada and Will, they raise their kids a lot differently, but I just feel like nowadays, Jada's being very honest, and she's saying things that other women just aren't gonna say, as far as having addiction to porn, because again, this was before Will, right? She was sort of celibate. And I know there's other women who've probably been in that situation as well. They're not in a relationship. So what do? They're watching X-rated stuff. They're using their toys a lot because they don't have a boyfriend or they're not in any type of relationship. They don't even have a casual situation. And women, especially if you're an attractive woman, you can definitely find those. But you have women that will go into celibacy. They're trying to, process not having sex. And I think that's what Jada was, but Jada was kind of wild, before she met Will. She was out there doing a thing. Not saying she was out sleeping around, I'm just not saying that. But she was in a different space. When she got with Will, his temperament, his energy, it changed her. And that's why she and Will are still together. But I think that there are other women as well, man. They are in and out of relationships. And because they're in and out of relationships, they tend to do these little short-term celibacy things to where they don't want to sleep with anybody because they're holding out for a relationship. And maybe that's what Jada was doing. But it was very interesting seeing a mother and daughter interact that way. Now, y'all can say they're a celebrity couple, this, that, and the third. But I will say this, though, about Willow. Willow looked like a regular girl. Like, she didn't look like this eccentric girl. I can tell that Willow has calmed down a lot from when she was making music, getting her tongue pierced and all that. Like, she's calmed down. And I think that's actually a good thing. You don't hear nothing about her. She's not doing wild and crazy things. You know what I'm saying? She's sort of living her life very privately, Jaden is the opposite. You got Jaden, who, I don't know where his mind is. There's no telling, And maybe that's a good thing that Will Smith's oldest son was by a different woman, and his upbringing was a little bit different to be in that, free and easy household to do whatever and experience whatever. But to see Jada and Willow back and forth, bringing to light, the experiences. I do think it was weird that Willow was following certain sites and, Jada not putting the stamp down. But again, that's how they run their household, let their kids do whatever. But I think that when it comes to, porn, there's a lot of women out there who are utilizing it. And they're utilizing it because they're single and they've been in and out of relationships. They done been in casual relationships, one night stand. And I think that by holding out for sex, they want to hold out until they get into a relationship because they don't want to be known as a thought or as a slower, and they will sit there and they will be voluntarily celibate, they'll use them sex toys if they have to. And nowadays women are working a lot, they're going to school, so they are filling those gaps in. But that doesn't mean they're not watching X-rated films, that doesn't mean that they're not taking out time for themselves. You know what I'm saying? Because they're definitely probably doing that. And I want people to understand something. When it comes to dating, women are a lot more lonelier than ever before. And I think they're watching X-rated videos just as much as men are. Because there are a lot more women than men. And you got women who've become picky and they would rather be celibate and watch, porn than get into relationships with a guy they don't want to be with. Those unrealistic expectations. I think there are women out there who have very unrealistic expectations and they don't understand that. See, if you have unrealistic expectations, you cannot expect, you can't expect to meet that guy that you want because you're trying to create a perfect 10. You're trying to create the perfect guy. And every woman out there is looking for the perfect guy. People say that us as men, we watch a lot of porn and we on IG and we're looking for women who look like IG models, but men are willing to date women who are on a scale of 1 to 10 is maybe a 5 or a 6. You know what I'm saying? They're willing to be with those women. They're not pressed like that. You know what I'm saying? They can be single or they could be in a relationship. But I think there's a lot of women out there, they want to be in relationships and they're willing to be voluntarily celibate and just use toys and watch X-rated movies instead of getting into relationships with men they really don't want to be with, which is actually a good thing because You know, those women will make those guys' lives miserable if they are in a relationship that they don't really want to be in. So you have to take that into consideration as well, because you have women out there, man, that they for the most part, if they don't want to be with you, they're gonna let you know. You know, now again, you know, Jada is, you know, once again going viral because, again, a lot of people have been sending me this for being honest. You know, I wish she'd be honest about her situation with August Alsina and what's going on there, but I don't think we gonna get that. I don't think we gonna get that. You know, maybe sometime soon, you know, we can figure out what's going on. That's a weird situation, ain't it? Listen, I don't think that Jada is the only one. I think there's a lot of women who've been in Jada Pinkett's situation. They've been, you know, lonely, and they've turned to watching X-rated videos because they don't want to get in any casual relationships. They want to get in relationships or marriages. But those women are very picky and they don't really understand it. They don't really understand it. But y'all understand in the comment section below, and let me know your thoughts.